Chapter 12 Library Damages. After much debate, in spite of the fact that his parents had said they were coming with them, eventually they were convinced they should stay home and keep an eye out for Vlad. They went through the portal to Equestria and headed to Twilight's library. The unicorn got out some parchment, a feather, and a vial of ink. Spike grabbed it and began to write what Twilight dictated. Dear Princess Celestia, something's gone terribly wrong. Prince Blueblood had a spell that backfired and turned all the humans into ponies for a week. Nothing short of a crisis on Earth. He disappeared shortly after, and I personally think that he's gone with Vlad. Vlad seems particularly keen on spying on us and blaming me for the disaster, Danny interrupted. Spike paused writing and looked up. I don't know, are you sure? Whatever, he just seems like a weird pony, he asked. Sam frowned. You never know. Vlad is tricky and clever. You might not be with Blue Blood, but he could be trying to use this for whatever plan he tried to think of now, she said. Right, Spike was about to write it down. Pinky shot and her tail shook. My tails are twitching. Something's about to drop down. You mean that heavy-looking book that's eerily floating up there, right about Danny's head? Flashlight squeaked, pointing to a book that had just been taken off the shelf. Twilight, Rarity, and Tucker were not used to magic, so it had to be Vlad, Danny said coldly, moving away from under the book. Rarity looked at him. But wouldn't you sense him if it were Vlad? No, a ghost sense never goes off around him. Not to mention none of you are using magic. Vlad, he said shortly. An irritating-looking Vlad became visible. Instead of the gray coat he had, his coat had become an eerie blue tone, and his pupils lost their pupils and instead had pure crimson with a pure black outline in the eyes. His name was swept up into the usual flat plasmid style with the same color, and his tail curved down and then up in a sharp half circle. His white and red cape had draped over his back, but as he turned his head to glare down at the group, it moved to reveal a brick-colored, ghostly swirl cutie mark. He lacked wings, but was still able to float as a ghost, and his horn looked rather sharp. The pony shrieked in terror, especially Fluttershy, who clung onto the nearest pony, who was Pinkie Pie, who clung onto her nearest pony, who was Sam. Sam grimaced. Crushing! God! Indifference! Danny did not hesitate to transform. He flew up to Vlad, getting into a defensive pose. How did you even get here, Fruit Loop? I used invisibility, little badger. Ah, you're only but a year into being a half-ghost. Otherwise you would have known immediately. Vlad's horn glowed red and he placed the book into his host's back. I come here for a reason. Team up with me, Daniel. We can solve this problem. There is no reason to fear me. Because honestly, who wants to be a pony when you're used to being a human? Or half ghost, in our case. Rainbow sneered. Yeah, right. Fat chance, Fruit Loop. Vlad smirked and looked at the group. Aren't you going to introduce me to your new friends, then you? I'm Rainbow Dash. The rest are Applejack, Fluttershy, Rarity, Twilight Sparkle, and Pinkie Pie. And you better not mess with us, she snapped. Vlad looked at Fluttershy and floated down by her. The Pegasus screamed and tried to fly away. Vlad used his magic to catch her tail. She kept screaming in terror. Now, my dear. You have no reason to fear me. I actually am quite a kind and reasonable stallion, you see, and don't you dare touch her! Danny snapped, flying to Vlad and tossing him against the other side of the library. Spike yelled and jumped down to avoid being hit. Vlad gave an oof as he was thrown into the bookshelf. Fluttershy began to cry, and the pony stood in front of her defensively. Danny tried to hold Vlad against the shelf, but the elder ghost threw him onto the floor. The colt grunted and glared at him. What do you want, Plasmius? I already said, and you already know. Fat chance, Danny snapped. If you really wanted to work with us, you wouldn't have just tried to knock me out with the thickest book Twilight has in here and blame for this mess in Amity Park. Sam, Tucker, get the thermos, he said, flying back up. Danny blasted Vlad, who threw up a shield and blocked it. Danny grunted in irritation, threw himself towards Vlad again, who moved quickly and allowed Danny to crash into the bookshelf. The other ghost was about to grab Danny, but the rainbow flew into Vlad and threw him to the ground. Applejack ran up, and as soon as Vlad hit the ground, she bucked him. Hard. Vlad screeched in pain. He dodged a few shots from Danny and the guns that Sam and Tucker had on their hooves, but soon clothes surrounded him and lifted him into the air, done by Twilight Sparkle. She looked at Sam and Tucker and nodded her head. Unfortunately, before Sam could crack the thermos open, Vlad broke free of the spout after much struggling. He cast an enraged sneer at the group. A cake hit him in the face from Pinkie Pie, who already had plenty of cake in her arsenal. Right as Rarity was ready a spell to hit him with, the ghost disappeared and fled. Rarity stared at Pinkie Pie.
Pinkie Pie, where did you get all that cake? I have no idea, but it makes the perfect weapon.
Why did he leave? Spike asked, terrified. Pie sighed. He must have realized he was outnumbered. He probably had no idea opponents could pack such a punch. He'll be back eventually. We have to prepare ourselves, Danny said. He changed back and landed, and he'll be back with help, probably. He's not stupid. A Fruit Loop, but not stupid. Grandma chuckled.
No matter what, he'll be no match for us.
Fletcher was still crying. Pinkie Pie came out and gave her a hug.
It's okay, Fluttershy. It's all over,
she said. Danny smiled. I won't ever let him hurt you. I promise, he said. Fluttershy gave a weak smile. Her face was still red from crying, but she was beginning to calm down. Spike pulled out the letter he was working on. Sim looked at Spike. Spike, I want you to write that we were attacked in the middle of this by Flat. Describe what he looked like, and both know where angles form. Please. Of course. Spike roared up and sent the letter off with a puff of magic fire. Deca looked around the library. It was trashed. Books and papers were what were more often than not torn or burnt lined the floor. The cake that hit Flat's remainders were a pile of frosting and cake on the floor. He sighed. Sorry for the damage, Twilight. It's not your fault. Twilight stared at all the paper and books. The only problem is now everything is out of order. My own system has been trashed. It'll take me a long time to fix this all. Can we help you at all? Rarity asked. Twilight nodded rarely. You could, but I don't want to make any point stay for too long. If you want to help, it'd be nice if you could start organizing the papers and books by category for me while I tie up the place. A few hours later, the group had finished cleaning up the library. It would have gone by faster, but Twilight demanded that they stay on a strict, organized regimen, and every so often she reorganized the characters that the group had done. At one point, Danny took over a book and made it float up and down to try to alleviate stress to no avail. Pinkie Pie had mistaken it as Flat had come back and, shrieking, bucked the book as hard as she could. Knocked Danny out of the book and partially damaged the novel he had taken over. Danny had crossed eyes and saw straws around his head for a few moments before regaining his bearings and came back to work after many sorry from Pinkie. Eventually everybody went home, exhausted. They had agreed to meet the next day at the Fenton's house. Danny's parents were infuriated by the news of Flat's attack. Jack himself wanted to march out to Flat's house immediately and confront the man. After much effort, they finally got him to, reluctantly, stay home, telling him a drug attack would be too obvious. Instead, Danny's father decided to sit in the living room all night with an octagon held up by the door with its magic and a number of weapons activated in the living room. Because of this, Jack had forbidden Danny to come downstairs until he he deactivated them, lest he set them off. Yet again, it was a long night. Prince Bluebird had spent all day scouring the ghost zone. Eventually, he found a hiding spot in a crevice on a floating island in the zone and waited. For most of the day, too many ghosts had come and gone by for him to take one over without being spotted, and he was beginning to get a headache from all the creeping moaning and groaning and a loud, insistent "Beware!" that had come from a particularly obnoxious ghost. But eventually the traffic had slowed, and soon enough, only one nervous-looking one was passing. He immediately used his magic and put the ghost froze. He came up to his hiding spot. His eyes had gone blank. "Hello, Master," it said emotionlessly.